As you can see here, I am using the Every Dollar, I guess you would say, app that is made by Dave Ramsey. I think I said in my previous video that we do use um, some of Dave Ramsey's debt payoff, but not all of it. So I do like his app. I do like his tracking. It does pretty good for me. So this is for the month of September, as you can see up here, and everything is at zero right now. So I'm going to start by putting in our income. We do have a as you can see here on the top, it is called Brentwood Supplement. My kids do go to a private school, and we do have a family member that contributes to their private school education, and they give us $290 a month towards our Brentwood payment. I do also have a stepdaughter, and we do have full primary custody of her. So we do receive $600 a month in child support for her. Um, as you can see here, we have my husband's first paycheck. His paycheck varies, and so I usually budget for around $1,650 for each of his paychecks. But it does just kind of depend. It's usually not below 1,600, and but sometimes it can be a little bit higher than that 1,650. Um, the next paycheck we would have would be my paycheck, and I had an amount. Let me see if I can pull it back up here. I've been out of work for a couple weeks. I've had surgery, so my paycheck, and I just got a raise, so my paycheck has not been what it would usually be. And then I had some deductions start, so I'm just pulling up to see. I can kind of do a test paycheck, and I can see that usually with an 80-hour check, I'm going to get $1,418.29 roughly each time. And again, 1650 for my husband's paycheck. And we will budget the same thing for my second paycheck of the month. I put in here if we're going to have any unexpected income. And this is actually not accurate here. Um, Sometimes we do have a family member that contributes to the kids' extracurricular activities. She likes to help. But at this time, that is not the case. And so, like I said, I do have the unexpected income. I don't budget for any of that. I just, budget for it as it comes in if it's unexpected. Um, so the next section that we have, I keep it here. This is just kind of a standard section that Dave Ramsey puts up for tithing. We do believe, I'm pretty honest in that, but we are not currently a consistent churchgoers, and so we're not tithing consistently to any one church. I'm just going to kind of go down the line here and put in what I know we have to pay. Spoiler, I'm pretty sure that we are going to be a little bit tight on money with some of those buy now, pay laters that you saw until those pay off. So I'm going to go down the line and just put in what we do have to pay, and then I will see if we have any money left over. So our mortgage every month is 1595.94, and we do have a security system that we pay, and they just emailed me how exciting and let me know that my subscription is going to go up by $1 this month. So we will be paying 32.99 for our security system that we use. We've got a couple cameras around the house and a um, alarm code and all that. Um, this is our um, city is our electric bill, our water bill, our sewage bill and our trash bill. I think that covers everything. And with it being the summer months, this last bill that we had was the highest that we've ever had in our home. It was about $350, which isn't a lot for, all of those things. I know a lot of people pay sometimes just that for power, especially around here, but it is the highest we've seen. I don't think it's going to be quite that high. So I'm just going to budget for 300. That bill has not come out yet. Um, and then we have our natural gas. Um, our natural gas is only our hot water heater. And we just kind of have it on a consistent budget billing and we pay 52.67. The next thing we have is our cell phone bills, our cell phone bill. Right now it's about $400, which is outrageous, but that does include my phone that we have not paid off, and probably should have been in that debt payoff, but I didn't think about it. So there might be some adjustments that need to be done to that. But it includes my cell phone and the plan, my husband's cell phone and his plan, my daughter's cell phone and her plan, and it also includes two watches. Um, and I'm not sure if they're paid off or not, and their plan. So there is a lot going into that bill. Let's see. Our internet bill is usually 89.99. That's our Wi-Fi. And I'm actually gonna go back here to August so that I can look at this. Please ignore this. This is not accurate. I have not updated it this month. Um, our straight talk is 55.91. Probably wondering why I have straight talk when I also have AT&T. That is because my son, who is turning 11, does have a cell phone, because I want him to be able to call 911 in the case of an emergency. And obviously, in this day and age, we don't have home phones anymore. So I got him a cell phone. Well, my mother had a cell phone that was old. She wasn't using it anymore. And so we just put it on Straight Talk because I didn't feel comfortable with putting him on an expensive plan with an expensive phone at his age. So we do pay 55.91 a month for Straight Talk. It might be cheaper for us to put him on AT&T. I probably should look into that right now. For groceries, we do have a family of five. It's me, my husband, my stepdaughter, who is my baby, and my son, as well as my youngest daughter. My son and my daughter are mine biologically. And they are between the ages of about to be 17 and about to be 10. So they're not tiny little things. My son eats me out of house and home. He plays football. So I try to stick to $800 a month for groceries, but that's really hard for us. So we'll see how that goes. And like I said, we don't follow Dave Ramsey religiously because he says you don't see the inside of a restaurant while you're paying off debt. And while that might probably be the best idea, it's just not realistic for us. Like I said, my son's in football. Um, and he practices from 5:45 to 7:15 every single night. My daughter does cheer and competition dance, and she's also in another dance program production in a town an hour away that we practice for. So there's a lot that we have going on. And so we do try to plan and do crock pot meals, but that isn't always the case. And I would rather plan to have some restaurant money available than to not plan and just go over budget because um, we weren't realistic with what our life looks like. So I do plan for a little bit of restaurant money. Honestly, that's only going to cover us for, one time a week for 4 weeks with a family of five, pretty much. Um, And then the other thing we have is my kids' school lunches. Like I said, two of them go to private school. And so their lunch in our area at a public school would be free, but at the private school it is not. And so we pay during the school year $152.50 a month for two lunch plans. The next thing that we have to pay is we have to pay for gas in our car. Like I said, my oldest is about to be 17, so she is driving. She does go to her mom's about 30 minutes away twice a month. Um, just literally 2 days a month. So we do have to pay for gas in her car. She does contribute to that. She is a great kid and she works. And so if she has the extra money to pay for gas, then she does. But I feel like she takes the younger two to school to help me, and she helped out a lot this summer. We do try to mostly pay for her gas for her. And then my husband and I don't live too far from work, but like I said, we do drive an hour away for dance and all of that. So I do budget about $300 a month for gas, and that's a pretty on point um, prediction. We usually stay right around there or a little bit lower. And so then we have our car insurance. So I am insuring three vehicles. All three of them, well, two of them have full coverage, and the other one just has liability, but that is $313.85 a month. USAA is a policy that I have on my wedding ring. It's just $5.25 a month. I do have a life insurance policy, and it does cost about $51 a quarter, but this is not a month that we would pay it. And it has reached a point where if we don't have the money to pay it, then it can come out of the cash value of the life insurance policy and it'll pay itself. But most of the time, we do try to make that $51 a quarter payment, but that is not something we have to pay this month. The tuition that we pay for their private school is roughly $300 a month. We will be paying a $45 performance fee this month for my daughter, and we do pay $120 a month for competition dance. This is not a month that we would have tennis lessons. And I just want to go ahead and kind of preface everything that I'm saying here. I know that right here I'm putting almost $500 towards things that are not necessary per month that could go to paying off debt. But while I am very, as Dave Ramsey would say, gazelle intent and ready to pay off debt, there are some things that I'm not willing to sacrifice for that. And that is that my kids don't have, they're halfway through their childhood in which they will be here at home with us. And I don't want them to sacrifice because me and their father made bad choices. So there might be some things that my husband and I need to do to increase our income to help cover those things. As you can see, the tuition is primarily covered by another family member. It really just is the um, performance fee, which is only twice in the fall, and the monthly competition dance. You can throw in their lunch as unnecessary, but they're not sandwich kids, so they get tired of that real quick. Um, so all that to say, please do not come at me with that I'm being frivolous and saying I want to pay off debt but not making the changes. I understand that it's not everybody's journey, but this is ours. Um, this is a braces payment. My oldest has braces, and actually, I forgot to put this up here. This is the payment that we pay per month, but half of it is actually paid for by her mother. So our child support amount will actually be 706. This is a relatively new payment to us. So our child support amount will be 706 instead of 600. Um, let's see, where was I? All the way down here. I do try like I said, to me, this is about being realistic with ourselves. And I know there's stuff that I'm gonna forget and need to buy. So I usually try to budget $100 for miscellaneous. This is another one of those things that you can come at me about if you want, but my husband gets $50. That math is wrong. He gets $50 a week. He does not swipe our debit card other than that. His $50 a week covers any drink. He works outside in the heat, covers Gatorade, it covers his lunches that he wants to eat out or breakfast, whatever. $50 a week. And that's it. He doesn't swipe the debit card otherwise, unless I send him to get groceries or something like that. He has his debit card, don't get me wrong. If he needs it, he can use it. But that's just the kind of agreement we came to. $50 in cash kept him accountable. He realized when it was gone versus him swiping his card. So I give him $50 every time because we're on alternate pay schedules. So he gets paid one week, I get paid the next. Every time one of us gets paid, I give him $50 and that's it for him. And he doesn't really use the card otherwise. Um, myself, I have not been honest with myself with what I'm spending, so this is going to be a month to kind of see, but I want to bring mine down to 100 just because I do know that we need to be tighter with our budget than we may have been here lately. And we do have a gym membership. It's $25 a month and it does cover me, my daughter, and my husband. Um, this is one of the things we might need to look at cutting out because we're not using it to its fullest potential, but at the same time, my membership is free because I'm a nurse and I work at private, well, it's not private anymore, a small practice that is owned by the local hospital that then in turn has the gym. So my membership is free. And then for $25, I can have anybody in my household over the age of 16 for one monthly fee of $25. So it's really not that expensive for it to cover all three of us. So I hesitate to give that up. I'm going to skip this section right here. As you can see, this is all not accurate right now. I haven't been good this month. I was really good in July, but not so much in August. Um, and then we'll come back if we have money. So I do know, and maybe this is where I should have prepared a little bit better before I started recording, but I do know that we have a Klarna payment in September, and it's going to be two payments of 38, 35.80. So that is going to be 71.60. Like I said, this is not completely updated. We'll go back and update that later. No sezzle payments. This, if we can, if we can swing it, I'm gonna go ahead and put down $20. We're gonna try and pay that off. Or start working towards paying that off. Um, then we have Zip Pay. Somebody commented and said buy now, pay later is like sucks you in, and it really does. I have a problem with it, and I need to cut myself off. But it just does make things that I have to buy, like uniforms, easier. But then for, the fall, I'm in trouble because spent all this money on uniforms and now I'm paying it back over time. But so I've got a couple payments coming from Zip Pay. I'm just adding them up now, so we can see what I'm going to have to pay in the month of September, which is probably going to be insane. I will take this time to talk about something, and that is I do have an expectation. I don't know if it will come to complete fruition, but I do have an expectation of receiving probably about $1,000 in unexpected income. So we will see if that does come to fruition. And if that is the case, I'll probably try to pay off a lot of these, pay buy now, pay laters. So for Zip Pay, it looks like that will be my payment for the month. Yay, great. I would like to try and make a payment here, $25. And then the Capital ones are $25 minimum payments. I would like to, of course, pay them off step by step, but we will get there. I appreciate y'all tuning in and hanging out with me while I do this. It is being transparent is difficult, but I'm trying to keep myself accountable. This is another one that I guess I should have added up, but I did not think about. While it gets pulled up, this is a old collections payment. It's getting close to being paid off. So I pay $56 a month, $28 bi-weekly on that. Um, so I'm just looking to see here um how this is gonna go. I'm going to, instead of adding this up, I'm going to use where it says how much you'll pay in the next 30 days because it's basically the end of August, um, as the amount, just in an effort to save time. And I actually need to um, look at a different, I know this is terrible. My husband has an Afterpay account as well. And my grandfather recently passed since I made my last video. And so I had to, yet again, unexpectedly purchase some clothing and my husband a suit and my son a suit. And it was just a big financial expense. So actually, this is going to look more like that, $600. And that's going to hurt us. So hopefully, and that's where we're going to go in the red. Hopefully that income will come in, um, and I can use that to pay off a lot, not a lot, but a lot of this month's buy now, pay later payments. Um, and that should help us um, with this income and help us be able to see. So we'll see how much we're in the red at the end of the day. Um, at the end of this, I'm looking to see the PayPal amount. And this is another thing. I added a little bit from my last um, video because I also had to buy brand new scrubs. There was an issue, I guess, saying I had to is a little bit hypocritical, but there was a big issue with my scrubs. They were really old. They were starting to get holes in them, and that's not going to work. So I did order some new scrubs, and hopefully we can just get some unexpected income this month. And some of these are things that we should be paying on, but are currently not. And I'm going to cancel that because I don't even know what that was. Oh, that is going to get a $25 payment as well as this. And most of this is stuff that we'll work on. This is actually going to get paid off. So I'm not even going to account for that in my budget. I guess when I said that I was having unexpected income, I do know that there are some coming in, roughly about $2,500. and I'm going to pay off this because it's such a huge monthly payment and try to pay off the buy now, pay later so that those big payments, like this was $400 a month, um, this is $600, and yeah, it's only 1 month, but I can't, it would help tremendously in the immediate. And right now, I need to get what we have going out under control so that we can start making progress. And actually, I got to make one more payment, and that is going to be on the car. And this is not our usual car payment. So please do not stroke. Our car payment is high, but this is higher than usual. So we will talk about that a different day. But so I have to pay that. This I did not give up because I went to cancel it and they said 299 and I was like, okay, maybe I should have canceled it. But I thought we'll keep it for now. Um, I pay $12 for Disney Plus. I pay 17.99 for Netflix. I think it's $9 for Hulu. I pay 11.99 for Dropbox. The reason I pay for Dropbox storage is because all of my daughter's medical records are in there. And I just don't want to lose access to those, and it's easier to store them that way. We do pay for Apple One because we got the family plan and it covers all of our storage for all five of us. I do pay for Canva because I do some stuff occasionally on the side for that. This is going to be, can't remember. I think it's 21.79. We do not pay for YouTube TV all year round, but we will be for the next couple of months for football. Please don't judge me. I know this is bad. And I do pay for this because, like I said, I do some stuff on the side. Um, I went to cancel this as well, and they gave me a deal for $7, so I don't have an issue with that. Amazon Prime, I usually split with my mom, so that's $4 on occasion. And I don't have Audible anymore, so I did cancel that. And that covers our necessities or what is going to come out of our bank account, whether we like it or not. And look at that. We are a grand total of $1,131.42 in the red. Um, I'm not too ecstatic about that. But it kind of just is what it is because I know that we have unexpected income coming in to cover that. And that at the end of September, most of this buy now, pay later stuff will be paid off. And that will help us in October going forward. I believe it shows me here that I am planning on paying $2,617.42 in debt. Of course, not all of that's going to go away, but at least $1,000 of it will. So that puts me right at even. And if I can get an increase in income or even just cut down on a couple of things, then I should be able to start making some progress on the other debts. And like I said, that car payment is going to be a little bit higher over the next couple months, but once it goes back to normal, that's a couple $100 that we're not paying towards that. That gives us room to make some progress. So I appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me today and just make a budget. I know there's not really much fun budgeting going on over here, but right now I just wanted to get everything in here and see how far over budget I was going to be and what I needed to do and what progress I hope to make. So if you will just give me a like, comment down below with some encouraging words, and if you want to let somebody else know that they are not alone, you can definitely share my video. And I look forward to hanging out with you next time. See y'all later. Bye.